come back, we're gonna go with some international news. Now, again, if you don't see news, you probably won't heard of this, but it's been all over the place. Uh, Haiti's president last week got murdered. So let's just give a brief story because again, this is ongoing. This is unprecedented, and again, this hasn't been. Hasn't been done in I don't know 3 decades. Jovenel Moise was the president of Haiti. He got elected in 2015, if I'm not recalling. Now his term was supposed to end in 2020. Uh, he said because of the pandemic there wasn't an election, so he governed by decree, which means that he dissolved parliament and he was just governing by similarly what we would call by force. So he inducted political systems to get that done. The opposition was saying that he could not, he was unlawfully elected. I'm sorry, unlawfully governing. So what happened was is that he was going to change the constitution in order to do an election. A lot of people fear that he was going to change certain things like the prime ministry, because in Haiti they don't have a vice president. They have a prime minister, which is the runs the country, and there's the president, which is the general manager of the country. Um, Having that said, last week a group of mercenaries went to his home, killed him, injured his wife, which is now doing better. She's in Miami, in Florida, getting treated, and their children managed to get safe. As we know now, uh, the mercenaries, a lot of them were apprehended. Two of them left, and four of them got killed. And as the investigation is ongoing, they are saying that the prime minister, along with a doctor and a senator, are the ones behind the plot of killing the president. Uh, Saying that the prime minister wanted to take government, which right now nobody knows who's governing Haiti, but it is supposed to be the prime minister. And just to add, the prime minister was ousted, so he was an interim prime minister. So because the president died, he cannot put the new one, and the interim is the one ruling. So that's just a context of a very, very, very complex situation. Now, Hillary, you're the youngest one. Have you ever seen a president getting murdered? Like, was this something that was in your area?
I'm trying to think. I don't think I've lived through any presidential assassinations in the 27 years I've been alive. Correct me if I'm wrong, listeners slash you three gentlemen, but I don't think there's been any. But what you described is just very extremely complex, and I would not say I'm 100% politically literate. It sounds really like complex in terms of like who's now running the country. I definitely feel like I don't want anyone really to ever die at the hands of anyone. Like, I don't know that this was necessarily warranted. It sounds like a really sad situation. I would be concerned for the people who like live there and are living in poverty and now dealing with this violence and overturn of a government. It's one of the rare times this year I'll say the sentence "I'm happy to be Canadian," because that doesn't tend to happen here. Knock on wood.
Hopefully. Clinton, what's your thought on it?
Well, I said I'm happy to be Canadian too earlier today when I was talking to my interview with Velma for our CBC show coming up. And I'm happy to live in a country where, if we finally acknowledge the wrong that was done, we have the opportunity to make it better.
Yes.
As opposed to some countries, like maybe like Haiti or other countries where people with voices get silenced really quickly. Like they disappear fast. So at least we're a country where you can speak out and get angry about the wrongs of the past. Regarding the Haiti situation, I don't know much about it for whatever reason. I haven't been following it. Alon, we were all talking about it earlier. I mean, Alon's going to frame it perfectly because what he's going to say is exactly what it is. It sounds like, humans doing what humans and animals do, like taking steps to seize power and control things. Like this is a repeated thing that happens in history. I mean, presidents being assassinated, I think lots of dictators have been assassinated, taken out by the states themselves. Wasn't Saddam Hussein
No,
Saddam
He was
Hussein
Saddam.
by
was
his own
taken.
people, wasn't he? I'm having a
Yeah, Saddam Hussein was
memory.
actually he was caught and hanged by his own people, which they hated him. But the Saddam Hussein,
Osama was my lifetime, but that's still not really
but he
like a
wasn't a
He wasn't a
leader.
president.
president.
Yeah,
He was
exactly.
a leader of a he was a leader of a group that originally was funded by the CIA and trained.
Yeah, Al
Uh,
Qaeda, which is a
and that's not
terrorist group.
conspiracy theory. Yeah. Yep.
No, no, that is actually that is a
Anyways,
fact.
I don't have a lot to say about the Haiti thing. That's why I was kind of going off about some other things. That's it.
Alon,
It's complex.
Oh, listen, this is Jason Bourne at work. Everyone just needs to calm down. That's what this is. This was a strategic hit by a trained operative. We all saw the movie. He was supposed to hit him on the yacht. He didn't get him on the yacht. Plans changed. This is what happens. So this is what I've been saying all along. That this was an orchestrated, planned, professional job by an agent with a wiped memory who no longer has any sort of recollection of what happened. And now we have this case, but you know what, as fictional and funny, as that may be, you know, and we talked about this before the podcast, movies do use consultants, and they use ex-military and ex-CIA and ex-FBI consultants when it comes to these spy movies and films. And so fiction, sometimes art does imitate life. And you know what, when you have a leader taken out in this kind of fashion, I'm sorry, that's where my mind goes. That's me. I enjoy good espionage films. That's the first thing I thought of. But it definitely does not just sound like some random locals trying to make a point. This definitely was, like Fidel says, a coup attempt, and this definitely was someone trying to grasp power in a very deliberate and very efficient way. And so, I mean, again, I don't know the details. I'm not in the country. I haven't been following the story, but the little bit that I've heard, it sounds like Jason Bourne.
well, I mean, I can definitely say, because I'm gonna have a separate a segment on this, because I'm gonna bring some people that are more that have more expertise on the country. I've been to Haiti, and I can definitely tell you it is a wide opening of eyes when you go to that country. I went there to help within the earthquake when that happened. I only went for 2 days, and I've been one time prior to the earthquake, uh, and I was there for like a day or 2 days as well. And even before and after, it's just devastated land, and it's kind of sad to say because Haiti was the first country to be liberated from slavery. They were the first black people to get away and liberated themselves from colonizers. This is way before any country in Africa. This was way before any country in America. So they were the first black liberators, for people that don't know. But because of that, because they were the first black people to get liberated from their colonizers, they've been suffering for a long time, and it has become a country of chaos. It's kind of lawless land, and some of it is not their fault. Some of them has to be people like the French, the United States, and other people. But definitely, it is something that it's kind of, if you ever go to that place, you will see that it's eye opening, and how a country is lawless and it is just ungovernable. So we'll definitely have more info about that. But hopefully that shout out to the people that are in Haiti, stay safe because it's never been safe there, but hopefully it's safer now.